I'm good. Thanks for having me on your show.
Thanks for being with us. Some people argue that Kickstarter is no place for a high-profile artist to raise money. They're saying that the crowdfunding model is actually designed for the masses and for people who don't have access to investors. So why is it okay for you to be on Kickstarter?
Well, I didn't read on their page that it was only for certain people. I guess the first thing I would say is there are a lot of people who found out about Kickstarter when I made this announcement, and in fact, they had their highest day of traffic when I made this announcement. And I think there's room for both known and people who are yet to be known artists on Kickstarter. The notion that these people would have been giving to someone else on Kickstarter and then gave their money to me instead, I think is ludicrous. I think the vast majority of these people who are contributing to my project have never given to Kickstarter before. And we know that from looking at the analytics of where the traffic's coming from. Anyone on there is also looking for artistic freedom. And just because I'm a known person doesn't mean I'm not fighting my own battles for artistic freedom.
But you are asking people to give you money to make a movie that they're going to have to pay to go and see. So how is that fair?
Basically, this is the pitch. If you're not a fan of mine, take me out of the equation and insert whomever your favorite artist is, whether they be an actor or a musician or what have you. If that person said to you, I'm going to, for a year and a half of my life, make behind-the-scenes videos, I'm going to do lots of photography, I'm going to make music suggestions, we're going to do a Spotify account, essentially an online magazine of things that you like because you're a fan of me or whatever person you've inserted in this equation, that will cost you $10. And that very $10 funds the movie and makes the movie. I think there's a lot of people that like that. I mean, I thought there'd be some. It turned out there are thousands in 4 days.
But what about, I mean, usually when somebody is a backer or an investor, they share in the profits. And in this case, that's not going to happen. If that model existed, and I understand that it's not legal at this point, if it existed, would you use it?
Of course I would. I wish I could do that now. It's not legal. We looked into that. I think anyone who doesn't know that that's around the corner isn't keeping up. This isn't a money-making scheme, all right? That's the headline. If I want to make a lot of money, I think most people would realize I could go back to television and be on a TV show and make a lot of money. This is a passion project. This is about realizing a film that a lot of people responded to, which was Garden State. This was about being able to do that with full artistic integrity.
Why is it impossible in 2013 in Hollywood to keep those conditions when you want to make a movie? What's going on?
So the way that films are financed these days is if a financier wants to invest in a script, they will fill the cast with as many people who have meaningful foreign box office. That means people whose foreign box office tallies have gone to some high enough number that when they run an algorithm on that said person, they predict that their movies overseas will raise roughly X.
Right.
And so when I go to someone and say, hey, I really want to cast this person in this role, this person would be great, I get, maybe, but we need to start with these 10 first because look at the box office numbers on these 10. And I just think that's an insane way to make a movie. If you look at a lot of these, people complain every single weekend about the amount of crap coming out. And I don't think that they fully realize that part of the problem is that the decisions that are being made are often reduced to a mathematical formula for who they think will yield the most dough overseas.
Are you surprised by how successful it's been? I mean, what did it feel like to you when you saw that money coming in for only your second feature film?
It makes me feel, of course, I'm shocked. The comments are just unbelievable, how much Garden State meant to them, how much they like this idea. Oh my God, I've never been to Kickstarter before. I've just funded 3 more things. It's been thrilling.
This is a moot point because you have made your target, but what if you hadn't hit your goal? What would that have done to you?
Oh, it would have been humbling, obviously. You put yourself out there. But, I go around and talk to schools, because I went to film school and I've had some success. So I often go and speak at schools. And my message is always you have to put yourself out there. You have to be unstoppable. And I couldn't do that in good conscience without doing that in my own life. So I did that with Garden State. Everybody passed on it. I found a way to make it. Plenty of people told me after 10 years of auditioning I should give up acting. I was wasting my time. I kept going, and I got Scrubs. I wrote a play. Everyone said it'll never get produced. We sold out London's West End for 4 months. With this, I couldn't get it made. I reached out to my fan base, and they rallied around me. It was a big risk. It would have been quite humbling if it didn't work, but it worked in 4 days. So I thank my fans, and if they're listening, I want them to know I'm speechless. I thank them so much.
You've been explaining to people like me who've been asking you questions about why you went on Kickstarter that you're not Oprah, but how much of your own money are you going to have to put up to get this film made?
I don't know yet. The Kickstarter money is just one part of the funding of this movie. There'll be some element of course, of my own money, and then some element of some foreign pre-sales to foreign territories to reach our whole sum. The movie won't be made for $2 million. It'll be made between probably 5 and 6.
And fans now that contributed millions to you, they've also contributed to the Veronica Mars film project. How likely do you think it is that crowdfunding models will revolutionize the Hollywood funding model?
I don't know about that. It's not for every big giant commercial project, but I think that it's clear between Veronica Mars and Amanda Palmer and myself that if the person or entity has a big following, and they're having trouble getting made, and they can be executed for a lower amount of money than a big studio movie, that all you need is 30,000 people across the globe to make it happen. That's one of the things that I think people that are shocked by this didn't see it coming, and I guess I did, because what the way social networking changes the whole game is that you can reach your fans all over the world, and you can reach them directly without going through anybody else. If you're still shaking your head, again, obviously, if you're not a fan of mine, this makes no sense to you. But if you're a passionate fan of someone else, and they have a personal, low-budget, artistic project they'd like to make for you, I think it's clear that there's going to be a market for that. 5
backers of your project, Zach, have each pledged $5,000, and in return, they get to go to the film's premiere and the after party. But in the video promoting the project, you made an unusual promise to them.
Everything from getting your own personal copy of the script to sitting right next to me at the premiere, with or without my hand resting gently on your leg.
So, Zach, is that possible? You have 5 backers at this level. How can you rest your hand gently on up to 5 different legs?
If anyone who paid that money and really wants me to gently rest my hand on their leg, I will gladly to. I will. I'll move seats every half hour.
Zach Braff, thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you.